Can you explain the physics behind why your rear sway bar for the B9 platform reduces understeer, and also why the front strut brace is worse than understeer?
Front strut braces
Well, let me
worse.
address one thing real quick. The front strut brace does not worsen understeer. I don't know where that
Yeah.
idea came from. The front strut brace's job is to uh, more rigidly support the front suspension so that front suspension alignment and geometry does not change as cornering forces act on the frame of the car. So under no circumstances does it really change the way your car handles, except it just ensures that your alignment settings, specifically your camber caster settings as the car loads up,
Yep.
the strut towers don't move around and flex. So what happens is if you have a certain amount of camber and you go into a corner and then that strut tower flexes, you're now undoing that camber and you're changing the alignment, and you don't want that. So that change in alignment could result in more understeer, um,
It
but
would it would be
not likely.
it would be the opposite though, because I mean,
Technically, it would
you know,
be.
when you load it up, you roll and you know take it to the extreme. You can picture the two struts without a brace in there at all. They're going to want to
Mhm.
push, you know, in the direction the tires are loading them up, which is going to basically give you a bunch of positive bad camber on the loaded up wheel.
Yeah, so not having the strut brace would increase your
It
understeer and the
could
front
increase your
suspension.
understeer, yeah.
But
It taken to an extreme level.
but the way we design and engineer our strut braces and test them, they improve the
Yep.
handling of the
Yeah,
clutch
you
and
can
the
help
force.
everything stay locked in.
As far as the physics behind sway bars is, forces act in proportion to the mass. And so on a vehicle, if you have the weight on the front of the car, then the forces acting on the front of the car will be much higher than the back because there's more mass up front. Uh, this is similar to why a cannonball does a lot more damage than BB or what, because there's more mass. Now, what sway bars, one of the main things that sway bars do is they control how the weight transfers between the front and rear of the car. And so typically when a car pushes, it's because it has weight in the front of the car and there's weight transfer to the front of the car when the car is cornering. So what a rear sway bar will do is stabilize uh, the attitude of the car in a way that keeps more of the weight in the back of the car. So that allows the 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 centripetal or lateral forces to act on more on the back of the car, which means the car doesn't just push. We adjust that weight transfer through the stiffness and thickness and wall thickness of the bars, and so typically we're stiffening up the rear to keep more of the weight in the rear to take that weight transfer off the nose of the car.
Well, and it's also not. It's that's only under cornering loads too, because it's going to change the way that basically how much pitch is allowed in the rear, you know, and how much roll is going to be,
Yeah, and
you
then
know,
there's the roll center
in the rear as
alignment of
well.
it.
So you know, you get to a point where that rear outside tire is going to be doing more work than before, just because that it's counteracting more of that roll force in in the body as well. And you get to a point where you know that rear tire now is going to be at its limit of adhesion before the fronts, or you know closer to where the fronts are. So you're going to get more of a rear action than just you know pushing through your front tires.
Yeah.
So yeah, sway bars can be kind of counterintuitive in that the bigger the bar in theory, the kind of like the less traction you have, but it serves a purpose in you know allowing you to control the rotation and the weight transfer of the car, as Gerard was just saying.